On February 12th, 2025, iconic Minecraft escape room guy Wifies released a video starring himself and his other two iconic Minecraft escape room guys, Watto and Canadian, titled, "Can You Beat Minecraft's Hardest 3-Player Escape Room?" This is a load of baloney, and with the power of going completely and utterly insane, I am going to prove it. Wifies' video, due to several extremely obvious flaws in it, is extremely obviously going to abundantly fuel the Canadian Wifies Watto self-debunking ecosystem, so I figured that it would be really funny to add more stuff to that ecosystem to extend and further the bit. Because of the nature of the self-debunking ecosystem, and also everything I am about to say in this video, which is often thematically appropriate to this, I think it is probably important to clarify, fully out of kayfabe, that I am not on the inside of the bit and none of these people know me at all. I am just wriggling in here uninvited to take a bite out of that whale fall because I think you can understand it is really funny. Despite that, the design flaws in the escape room itself are obvious. If you're watching this video, you probably have watched enough debunking videos already to be able to immediately see stuff like, this is an incredibly reset-demanding / failure-unfriendly escape room that by all rights should have required being reset at some point, and also, conserving resources? I fully expect that all three of its participants will be elucidating those flaws to a far more thorough degree than I ever could. The question is, why? When such things happen, with these experts on such things, we can reasonably assume that they are doing so on purpose to tell a story. But what story? No, there is a far more egregious lie in this video than just how scripted it is, and that is, this is the least three-player escape room I have ever seen. This is not a 3-player escape room. And I'm going to prove it through a combination of the obvious visual confirmation, the weird design choices, and somehow also symbolism? Okay, first getting the obvious out of the way, we see a 4th player present in the structure at the same time. Clone Wifies, or other clone Wifies, or non-clone Wifies if we're getting really scared about it. Blam, case closed, etc. But literally all this reveals concretely is that there is another guy here. Not a lot to say about this point yet, but we will come back to this. Then there's the design choices, by which I mean the literal design of the puzzles and stuff. I trust Wifies' escape room designers, which in this case are probably Ken, Watto, and Wifies themselves, let's be honest here, to commit to the freaking bit. The time travel escape room demonstrates a wide variety of puzzles that require the time travel gimmick to work reliably. The Hopper escape room tries its hardest to make use of every single trait of Hoppers, including their ability to lag out a server. The triple solvable escape room is carefully designed to be triple solvable. The bit of this escape room, though, is allegedly that it is a 3-player escape room. So I would expect it to have lots of cool puzzles that require 3 players. But it doesn't. The very first puzzle involves all 3 players, but it doesn't really require them. If they combine Canadian and Watto's rules into one turbo furry, I should just stop saying words. The only thing that would change is that they would need to do the wind charge trick 1 fewer times. Then they go leave Watto unattended. My understanding of the first big collab and the End Barons leads me to believe that this is a recipe for the horrors, but actually, leaving any of these 3 unattended is a recipe for different flavors of the horrors. That's not the point. From that point onwards, all of the puzzles we see either only require 2 players, or even can be done entirely solo. They don't even seem to be secretly impacting each other or enabling each other to progress. This is functionally 3 separate escape rooms that occasionally intersect into 2-player puzzles. And weirdly, When we see the full view of the escape room in the intro, we don't see enough extra spaces for the routes the other two take, meaning the other two might not even have escape room when they're not on screen. Even the final puzzle only actually requires 2 players, one to kill turtles for slime, and one to place a magma block. So there is a lack of 3-player puzzling, which means, first of all, that the bit isn't actually the 3-playerness of the escape room. The bit is actually, this is an escape room, with Wifies and Ken and Watto in it. The 3-playerness is an excuse to get them in the same place at the same time. But why? There might also be symbolism about what is going on. Observe. In the room where Wifies' escape room intersects with Watto's, there is a glazed terracotta inlay in the floor that needs to be broken in order to access resources that are required to progress. The 4 colors of terracotta in the 2x2 inlay are purple, gray, lime green, and yellow. The purple and gray terracotta, though, are very familiar colors. In the Evil Wifies lab from the original collab, we see copious amounts of both of those materials, which leads me to conclude that the purple and gray terracotta have the same color and texture as raw Wifies sludge. That, or he's about 50% headband by volume. Notably, Wifies mines the correct terracotta block on his first try, which is the purple one of the 2 blocks to be the same color as the Wifies goop, one of the 2 blocks that represents Wifies. There is also more gray terracotta, making an appearance in the room where Wifies works with Ken, though it seems less important to mine it. Also on that topic, the concrete powder used in that room is purple. The intentional color choice on those colors makes the other colors clearly equally intentional. And the other 2 participants of this escape room have their own theme colors. Canadian is green and yellow, sometimes easily mistaken for green and orange, while Watto is green and lime green. Notably, the other 2 colors of terracotta are within this list of colors. Potentially, both of the other terracotta colors could represent Ken, but this is the room where Watto is also there, so leaving Watto's theme colors out of the inlay would be particularly weird here, which means that the yellow terracotta represents Ken and the lime green represents Watto, which leaves 2 terracotta blocks to represent Wifies. You might say, well, that's just to make it a square and not a weird L shape, but you would be wrong, because it makes just as much sense to have it be a rectangle and have 2 colors representing each participant, especially seeing as the other 2 both have a 2-tone theming in the form of their bicolored ears. There are 2 Wifies-colored terracotta blocks. There are 4 terracotta blocks in total. There are 2 Wifieses present in this escape room. This is not a 3-player escape room. While we're on the topic of symbolism, could the gimmick of revealing budded walls symbolize things that are hidden and out of sight and invisible and need to be revealed in the narrative of the escape room itself? I can't think of a better place to put this, so I'm putting it here. In the comments section of Wifies' video, Watto comments that this is Minecraft's most 3-people escape room, ellipsis. As I have clearly demonstrated, though, due to its design being not very 3-people, this is actually Minecraft's least 3-people, most 3-people escape room. So I think that this comment is intentionally making use of the dramatic device known as irony. I'm onto you, you rapscallions! Also, this is literally nothing, but is the YouTube's ad copy read by the other Wifies? Let's call him Grey Wifies as opposed to Purple Wifies, because our POV Wifies picked the purple glazed terracotta. He ends the ad read with "back to the other me," which is a typical editing room guy sentence, but also strikes me as relevant in context. Anyway, I think we've covered all of the evidence, so it is time to circle back around to the second Wifies, and why I am on an extreme deadline to make and upload this video before the rest of the self-debunk ecosystem floats to the surface. As we've seen, there is a second Wifies present in this escape room structure. There are 4 color-coded terracotta blocks, and there are no 3-player puzzles that we see in this 3-player escape room. Let me present a scary, scary hypothesis. What if there are 3-player puzzles, and we just haven't seen them because our POV character is this Wifies? Or even just additional 2-player puzzles that we don't get to see because someone else is in here. They aren't visible on the full outside view of the escape room, but if they made very small puzzles or used the power of scriptedness to make it not have to make spatial sense, this could still be possible. Evidently, the only time that the 2 Wifieses are in the same place at the same time is the one scene we see, wherein they are out of sight of the other 2, albeit just barely. I'd be very confident that when we get to the others' perspective, we get a scene where they're doing a puzzle with the other Wifies, and then he dips out of view, and we briefly get to see this Wifies come out of another tunnel before also vanishing out of view, and no one figures out anything from this. Scary, scary, scary. Even if this isn't what happens, I think I've made my point. This is not a 3-player escape room. This is something else entirely. I am shocked, and other debunking-related words? In conclusion, this is how you debunk things, I think. I've been Aquilon, and this was me losing my mind for several minutes. Thanks. Bye.